Welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, so I'll just maybe briefly talk about why we chose this specific topic to present here. So we talk about open data, we talk about sharing data, but an important aspect which I share really focuses on is the trust aspect of the data. The data is useless if you can't trust the data that you're using. And the other aspect that we really want to focus on is the cross-sector data sharing, because right now the solutions that you see in the industry or in the market are focused on specific sectors, or how you can share data in tourism, how you can share data in mobility. So um, yes, so I don't think I need to go too much into detail here. Does data bring new problems? Yes, because the more data you have, then you really have to become picky on what data you're going to actually use, and if it's going to provide any value or not. Um, Basically, what we're trying to do here is facilitate data sharing with iShare, and we do this through the creation of federated ecosystems, and which are built on trust, which are built on data rights, which is central to the iShare Trust framework, which we provide. I'll go more into details in the next slides. But yeah, basically, what we want to bring here is not just theoretical concepts, but actual real life examples, which we are working with use cases. And yeah. So yeah, for any kind of predictive analysis, AI, any way you want to use data, you need that data to be accurate, reliable. It needs to be not biased. So, and it has to be compliant with the regulations that are coming in the European Union. So what are we trying to do? So we're trying to build these robust ecosystems with keeping security at the back of it. I know it's open data, but still you want to make sure that the data that you're using is something that can be reliable and something that can be trusted. And the other point is that when you're creating these ecosystems, you have to make them open and not closed. Because you want them to be interoperable with different, if someone is using different standards or different technical components, there should still be room for using there should be some room for crosstalk with those organizations as well. And whatever we're trying to build, it has to be transparent, it has to be easy to use, and there should be public confidence in the data that is being shared. So coming to the iShare framework. So basically, what we provide is a software infrastructure, which is not just technical coverage, but also legal and operational coverage for sharing data. We rely on a specific mechanism of access control and identity management. We do this through OAuth, which is a common standard that is used anyway. So it's interoperable and layered. So we're not just providing the technical specifications, but we're also helping you with the legal coverage through the use of data licenses, which are specific to the policies that you want to use while sharing any specific set of data. It's scalable across domains. So iShare is domain agnostic. It's data agnostic. What kind of data you share is not it's not a problem, and it's not and the sector you use it for is also not something there's a problem. And we are aligned with the EU strategy for data, and not just this, we are also compliant with the EU Data Governance Act, the Data Act as well. So we give you legal coverage to also be compliant with these regulations. So federated ecosystems. So what does this mean? Basically, we are moving away from platforms to ecosystems, which basically means that there is no central platform which is holding the data. You keep the data with you at the source, and you just share, or there are certain policies in place which help you with the legal coverage, and you can share your data without any problems. So it's secure and it's trustable. The good thing about this is that once you have designed an ecosystem like this, it's easy to scale as well, because there is no platform. So there is no like starting and endpoint where how it should work, or there's a issue with how it can be scaled further. So basically, we also want to focus more on working with different organizations. So basically, it's not just that it's specific to a region or specific to a sector, and that's basically what we try to bring. And Yes. So the other thing that is upcoming in the European market is the digital product passports, which is like becoming a huge thing where you want to have a digital identification for everything that is a product. And basically, what we are relying on is that there can be a specific ecosystem of ecosystems where you have these registries, and each registry you have organizations of participants, and they all can be interconnected because what we do at iShare is that we also provide you with the onboarding mechanisms that you can use for your ecosystem. So if, let's say, 5 ecosystems choose to use the similar onboarding processes, in theory, they all can work with each other as well because they are onboarded with the same mechanisms of trust, the same levels of assurance, the same levels of trust assessments as well. And the security and compliance levels are also the same. So that's what we're trying to show here. And basically, we also provide this participant registry, which is based on a distributed ledger. So when you are onboarding participants onto your data ecosystem, you can register them in the participant registry. And the idea is that on this distributed ledger, you also have other ecosystems. So you can also work with those ecosystems and connect with them as well to see what services they provide. And with this participant registry, the added feature is a discoverability aspect where you can discover other trust services that are provided and also check if they match the same level of trust assurance as you as not or not. So why are we here? So basically, we've been working on a few European projects, and we work a lot with the Dutch government. But we also realized that for every country, for every region, there's a different need for sharing data, and that's why we want to tailor whatever solutions we are building or helping organizations build to the local environment or the local sector that it's going to be used. So the point is that we don't want to build solutions which will not be used by anyone. We want to build a solution which is actually going to be taken up by the market. And that's why we are working with Eclipse, for example, as well, and we are working with IDSA as well to build global standards. But on the other hand, we also want to work with these smaller organizations, SMEs, to actually understand what exactly is it that they want to share, what are the problems in the technical implementation, what kind of legal coverage are they looking for? Is there something specific to the sector? For example, in healthcare, there are more barriers to sharing the data. Even if the data is open data, you cannot really share it because there are so many restrictions in place. So we want to understand that better, and that's how we want to tailor the solutions as well. So I would talk a little bit about an example because right now I've been talking a little too vague about what we do. So if you look at the picture on the right, this is an example of an ecosystem we are building with the Dutch municipalities. And the thing is, we are scaling it municipality by municipality. So this is the simple structure where you have like a service or data consumer, a service or data provider, a data owner, which is the entitled party in iShare, and you have a decentralized marketplace. And basically, the organizations are onboarded using a governance mechanism and by complying with the iShare Trust framework. And once they are onboarded, they can connect to the different marketplaces that are already there. And what we are trying to do is we've started working with different municipalities to make them ready to use this, and also not just so basically there's a lot of data at the municipalities, and we're trying to make more use of it. And we're connecting each municipality by municipality so that in the end we can have the entire Dutch ecosystem covered in this. So iShare's role in this is providing the standards, the specifications, and the legal coverage. And we are working with a lot of different organizations to help build this solution. Something else that we are working with, and the previous talks were about the challenges that you see in these cross-sector ecosystems. So what we're trying to do is we want to build like a template stack, which is based on the DSSC building blocks, which you can see. You have to cover access management, identity management, data exchange, and all of these different components. And now what we're trying to do is we're trying to build some assessment models through which you can assess the trust, the communication, the traceability, the security, what kind of value is being created, is there digital compliance, is there data governance. And based on this, we are going to build maturity models so that we can benchmark what is it that the ecosystem is trying to achieve in the next 1 year or 5 years, and what exactly is the toolkit it's looking for, what kind of standards does it want to comply with. And yeah, so basically we don't want to focus on a single sector. We want to break silos and also try to connect different ecosystems from different sectors so that they can share data with each other, so that, because tourism data can be used for maybe sustainability aspects as well. There can also be the same kind of data that needs to be used for agriculture as well. So there can be a lot of connection and shared synergies between these ecosystems. And now, because we've been working a lot with these different initiatives, we also realized that the technical problems or the challenges that they face initially are similar across domains. It's not domain specific. So we're trying to use the expertise and the learnings that we've had from these ecosystems to be able to share it with the different ecosystems as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much my presentation. I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a question to understand better iShare Foundation. You have foundation in the name. Why are you a foundation by a city, by a government, by companies? Are you a company by your own?
Yes, so to clarify that, so the iShare Trust Framework, which basically what I was trying to show, is a set of agreements, not just technical basis, but also like legal, operational, all these specifications or rules. And it was co-created with the Dutch government. And then the iShare Foundation was created to maintain it, to run it, and to improve its adoption across not just the Dutch government, not just the Dutch ecosystems, but also across Europe. And we are a non-profit foundation, and we work with open source technology. And yeah, that's why we are a foundation, and we are trying to improve the adoption of this trust framework.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining this and for your presentation and contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, this was the last talk in this room. In the main room, we will now have a community coffee break, and there will be more talks in the developer room afterwards. So enjoy your community coffee. See you later in the developer room.